Today we are working Psalm 63. Some traditional magical uses for Psalm 63 include to overcome discouragement, to overcome loss from business associates, and to end lack. We're going to use Psalm 63 to end lack at its source. The way we work psalm magic is simple, easy, and effective. We take the psalm we're working and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. This is called an incantation. After we've finished that, we go back through the psalm and we consider each verse one at a time in turn. We search for the meanings that lie hidden, and by digging, searching, finding, and applying what we find to the situation we brought to the psalm, we are shaking loose all of the magic seeds that lie dormant within the psalm that are necessary for the perfect manifestation of our spell. And these seeds are thus implanted in the fertile grounds of our mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that's what we are going to do together right now with Psalm 63. O God, thou art my God. Early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee. My flesh longeth for thee in a dry and thirsty land where no water is, to see thy power and thy glory, so as I have seen thee in the sanctuary. Because thy loving kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise thee. Thus will I bless thee while I live. I will lift up my hands in thy name. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, and my mouth shall praise thee with joyful lips. When I remember thee upon my bed and meditate on thee in the night watches. Because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice. My soul followeth hard after thee. Thy right hand upholdeth me. But those that seek my soul to destroy it shall go into the lower parts of the earth. They shall fall by the sword. They shall be a portion for foxes. But the king shall rejoice in God. Every one that sweareth by him shall glory, but the mouth of them that speak lies shall be stopped. It's important that we begin this second step of the psalm formula by first orienting ourselves to whom we are addressing in the psalm. In this psalm, we are addressing God, and God in the ancient Hebrew Bible is called Elohim. And Elohim is a collective, it's a singular plurality. And it represents the host of heaven. It's a symbol for the one power, the one source, the one force, and the one substance in all the universe. There is only one, and since there is but one, nothing can oppose it. This is not one that is better or bigger than other forces. This is simply one force. If you think about the Star Wars movies, that's a similar idea, this concept of the force. The one power. And since nothing can oppose this power, when God is for us, nothing can be against us. And God is for us, and therefore our success in this psalm spell is assured. O God, thou art my God, early will I seek thee. We are addressing this force directly, and we are saying, early will I seek thee. From a magical perspective, it means I'm going to God first. If I have an issue, if I have a problem, if I have anything that needs to be solved, I'm not going to wait until I try all of my solutions out first and then go seek the infinite. I'm going to seek the infinite first. My soul thirsteth for thee. So if your soul is thirsting, that means your deep mind is thirsting. It's not quite the same thing in the Psalms as what we consider the soul. For us, the soul is that perfect part of ourselves that is an extension of the infinite. That part of us is perfect and could never be thirsty because it's never without the infinite. It never considers itself without the infinite. There is no part of our perfect soul that is dissatisfied. But the dissatisfaction within our deep minds is very important to think about because the idea of lack, the idea of dissatisfaction, the idea of need, when it's held in the deep mind, some people call that the subconscious mind, it is thusly expressed onto the screen of space, and then we deal with all of that as circumstances in our lives. We're cutting that off at the root here by saying, my soul thirsteth for thee. My flesh longeth for thee in a dry and thirsty land where no water is. Since there's no water in the physical realm, we have to look into the realm of the spirit for this symbolic water, which is simply the infinite's presence. The infinite's presence. And when the infinite's presence is within our deep mind, then our lives reflect that infinite presence rather than this idea of lack. So whatever you're finding lack in your life, it might be a lack of money, it might be a lack of love, it might be a lack of health, it might be a lack of satisfaction, it might be a lack of peace. There's all kinds of things that we can feel like we lack in this world. When the flesh longeth for satisfaction of these things in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water, that means that our soul, our deep mind, is thirsting for the infinite. And when we allow the infinite to quench that thirst in the deep mind, all of those other things are taken care of automatically. Similar to what Jesus said in the New Testament when he said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all of these things are added unto you." He could have very easily said, "Quench the thirst of your deep mind by experiencing the infinite, and all of your problems will be solved. To see thy power and thy glory, so as I have seen thee in the sanctuary." If you think about your soul as a beam of light from a star, where the beam or the ray of light meets the source, that's the sanctuary. To see thy power and thy glory, so as I have seen thee in the sanctuary. That means that we must meditate. We must close our eyes to the world. We must calm our minds and calm our emotions, calm our bodies, so that we can experience that oneness that's always existent. And when we feel that oneness, when we understand that oneness, automatically our thirst is quenched. Because thy loving kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise thee. Normally we say the infinite is the source of life, but here it's saying it's better than life. It's bigger than what we understand life to be. So the principle of life itself is the source of all life. So we're looking to the source of life rather than the effect of life, rather than the conditions and the circumstances of life. Our body is an effect. Our body does live. Our body is animated, but as an effect of the source of life. But the source of life is within us, and that's that meeting place, that's that sanctuary where our deep mind is at one with the infinite. My lips shall praise thee. Praise means acknowledging enthusiastically that something is good. So when we allow ourselves to engage in the act of praise, we are putting ourselves right at the point where our thirst is quenched, where all of our problems are solved, where our deep mind is satisfied. What's good? Ask yourself what's good and start naming them off. And it's saying with your lips, so you could do it with your metaphorical lips, but let's do it with your physical lips. Let's do it out loud. If you do it out loud, it really hits home with your deep mind. What are you grateful for? What is good in your life? Are you breathing? Yay, that's good. I'm grateful. I praise the fact that I'm breathing. I praise the fact that I'm moving. I praise the fact that I had something to eat today. I praise the fact that I have shelter. I praise the fact that I have food. I praise the fact that I have water. I praise the fact that I have loved ones. I praise the fact that I enjoy things. I praise the fact that I have money. Whatever is good in your life, it's telling you to praise with your lips. Thus will I bless thee while I live. I will lift up my hands in thy name. To praise God is to acknowledge the presence of God, to live in the present moment where that relationship with this presence exists, to feel the presence, to acknowledge the presence, and to know the presence. To lift up your hands is a gesture of invocation. And when you're invoking the name of the infinite, you're invoking the qualities of the infinite. So what qualities do you need? Is it life? Is it soul? Is it spirit? Is it intelligence? Is it truth? Is it love? Is it law? Is it the presence of the infinite itself? Whatever you need, calling upon the qualities of the infinite, invoking the qualities of the infinite takes care of it. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness. and my mouth shall praise thee with joyful lips. Again, praising with joyful lips. Joy and praise bring you the spiritual food and nourishment that you need. Your deep mind is satisfied by the spiritual food that experiencing the presence of the infinite brings. The more you experience the presence of the infinite, the more you have to be praiseful about. And the more you praise, the more you experience the presence of the infinite. All of those things are deposited as seeds of truth in your deep mind. And we know what happens when seeds are deposited into the fertile ground of your deep mind. They grow and they bear fruit, and you experience those things. When I remember thee upon my bed and meditate on thee in the night watches, it's important to go to sleep with the idea of the infinite on your mind and to wake with the idea of the infinite on your mind. That's the way that you can plant these seeds much more expeditiously and efficiently. Because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice. So the infinite is your help. Whatever you need, whatever kind of lack you're experiencing in your life, the infinite knows that it doesn't exist. And the shadow of the wings of the infinite is the protection of the infinite. You are always protected, but you must acknowledge that protection. You must invoke that protection. And you do that by rejoicing. You do that by rejoicing, feeling joy for the fact that you are under the protection of the infinite, and that the infinite is providing for whatever you need, and that all lack has been destroyed by virtue of the sheer fact that you understand that no lack can exist in the mind of the infinite. Therefore, when your mind is at one with the infinite's mind, there is no lack available to you. We are free to think anything we want to think. We are free to contemplate any concepts we want to contemplate. And most of us were raised with the idea of lack being certain. And since we believe in lack, we experience lack. As we allow the infinite to extract all ideas of lack from our minds, from our deep minds, lack ceases to be. And we then start to live as we are meant to live, an abundant life. My soul followeth hard after thee, thy right hand upholdeth me. So your deep mind is following the infinite, following it hard, following it truly in every way. And it's just about establishing that habit that no matter what, we are calling upon the infinite for guidance. No matter what, we are calling upon the infinite for substance, for whatever it is that we need, for whatever it is that we don't understand, for any guidance that we require, any supply that we require, whatever it is, we are calling on the infinite, following hard after the infinite. Because the more your surface mind repeats something, the more the deep mind is habituated to that thing. So if you make it a point that no matter what's happening in your physical world, you turn and face the infinite, you praise the infinite, then your deep mind is habituated to that, and then the results of that are reflected on the screen of space in your life. It says, thy right hand upholdeth me. So the right hand in these ancient scripts means the hand of utility. The infinite, with its strongest hand, is lifting you up. But those that seek my soul to destroy it shall go into the lower parts of the earth. People are thoughts in the Psalms. So you're talking about the tendency of your mind to dwell on ideas that are self-destructive. That's an ego mind. So all of those thoughts of self-destruction are now being removed from your mind. When it says that they go into the lower parts of the earth, that's symbolic for going into the native nothingness from whence they came. They are going back into nothingness because they don't really exist, because they're not true. They shall fall by the sword, they shall be a portion for foxes. It's a very dramatic symbol of those old thoughts and tendencies toward lack dying and going away and no longer being a part of you. But the king shall rejoice in God. Everyone that sweareth by him shall glory, but the mouth of them that speak lies shall be stopped. You are the king. It's talking about that soul, that extension of light from a central sun. That's the king. You're going from having a wilderness experience into recognizing who you are as royalty. You're going from this wilderness experience where you're experiencing lack into remembering who you are. And that's a royal sovereign. But the king shall rejoice in God. In order for you to have a conscious contact with your soul, you must understand that the soul constantly rejoices, constantly praises. That's the constant activity of the soul. So when you, in your conscious mind, are rejoicing and praising, you are at one with your soul. Everyone that sweareth by him shall glory. So the glory is the Shekinah. The Shekinah is the divine substance of all the universe. When we impress a thought upon that substance, it becomes form in our lives. And so when you sweareth upon the infinite, that glory then is stirred up in you. You are abiding in the conscious thought of the infinite at all times. You are making yourself remember again and again and again to think about the infinite, not your problem. To think about the infinite, not the problems in the world. To think about the infinite, not your pain. To think about the infinite and not anything else. And that's swearing by him. But the mouth of them that speaketh lies shall be stopped. So all of the parts of your mind that are so interested in carving out problems for you, in proving that you're vulnerable, proving that you're weak, proving that you are self-destructive, proving that you're bad, proving that you're anything other than perfect. All of those parts of your mind shall be stopped. So you just keep coming back to the same psalm again and again. Once a day is fine. And eventually you're going to get a sense of peace and certainty about the situation that you brought to the psalm. And when you get that sense of peace and certainty, recognize that that's a signal from your deep mind that your spell has been cast and you don't have to work on this situation anymore. In fact, it's best if you don't. Just put the whole thing out of mind and let it manifest. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I so appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be.